Hey, hello, happy Monday. How was your weekend, Sarah?
Oh my gosh, it was awesome. The summer is here full fling.
Oh my God, right? It's so friggin' hot
Wow.
here in Ontario. How's it in PEI?
It's a little warm, that's for sure. But you know what? I'm so grateful because our winters are long here. And you know what though? I love every season. I don't even care. I love every season. Like every season is great. Fall is my favorite, but I love every season.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
beauty. Like today I was just staring at my tree. Like I was just looking at my tree and I'm like, damn, that's a beautiful tree. Like in the winter, it looks so small, like you never would have guessed, but it is a massive tree and I'm grateful for it.
That's so true. I was just thinking the other day I was walking. I think it was Saturday morning I was walking and I was like, holy, like when you go down the streets in the summer, everything's huge and in bloom and then have you ever seen those pictures where it shows the four seasons on the same street and it'll show like summer, spring, winter, fall and it shows the same scenery but like
Yeah.
this season it's pretty cool. That's all I think about when I see the trees in bloom.
But you know
And then
what's
in
crazy though?
yeah,
Is that's just like our life. Like
yeah.
we go through seasons in life, right? Like people are all we always want to be set on one season, but that's not how life works. In order to replenish and to grow, we have to shed our leaves, go dormant, reflect, and then grow again. I have a plant in my bathroom. It's the only place I can have it where the cats won't eat it. So it's in my bathroom, and probably about 2 weeks ago, it started losing all of its leaves, and I started panicking because I'm like, okay, here you go, Sarah. You can't keep another plant alive because I can't. And so I'm like panicking, and I talk to it, and I tell it it's beautiful, and I share positive affirmations with my plant. Okay, don't judge me. It actually works, and there's science behind it. And so I tell it I love it, and it's still shedding leaves. I'm like, well, fuck, these aren't working. These affirmations aren't working. And then it had to shed its dead leaves to make room for the new ones, and now it's beautiful and vibrant.
Yeah, it's crazy,
That's
eh?
like us,
It
right? We go
is.
through these seasons. We have to shed,
Absolutely we do. How can you make room for a new anything if you're holding on to the old?
right? Just like so, Bob Proctor says, you have to clean out your closet to make room for new clothes. How can you even think about shopping for new clothes if you look with an overgrown closet? It's the same thing with your life,
It's
right? How
so true.
how can you make room for abundance if you're always looking at your lack, right?
Yeah.
Lack of money, lack of education, lack of love, lack of sex, lack of happiness. How can you make room for that if you're just focusing on all of that crap?
Absolutely. Or you're just hanging on to the past to think it's going to come back in your future. Like, for instance, cleaning out your closet, how you said Bob talks about that. I always in my past used to hang on to clothes thinking, well, I'll fit into them again or I'll wear them again. And I've held on to them for 8 years and I'm like, donate them. Like, I'm not going to
Yeah.
use them again.
I
Let go of it.
love I love that you just said that because we got new dressers and I was cleaning out my closet and I was cleaning out my dressers and Donnie was like handing me clothes. I'm like, oh, those will fit me in a couple months, right? Because I'm working out right now. I'm like, they'll fit me. But right now they don't fit me. But guess what? If I donate those, somebody else could use those.
Yeah.
And I'm making room for the stuff that I want, not the stuff that I have to hang on to.
Yeah. And it feels so good to just let go of it.
Yeah, so good. All right, let's wake the fuck up, people. Today, we're talking about we are responsible for where we are and the results that we are experiencing.
Yes.
I don't know how many conversations I'm in about, well, maybe I should go back to school. Okay, can we talk about this for a second? The pandemic hit a year and a half ago. Millions of people lost their jobs. Millions of people went back to school. Please tell me where the fuck those jobs are when they all graduate school after paying all that money.
Mm-hmm.
See how it doesn't make any sense at all? But in our reasoning, it does make sense because we have been told two big lies in our life. I'm going to read a little blurb here from Bob Proctor's Walk Your Talk with Praxis. The first big lie that most people heard early on in life and accepted as part of their belief system has to do with education. We are raised, go to school, earn a degree, and you'll get a good job. There are literally thousands of people walking the streets with a degree in hand and no job. So what happened?
Yep.
Right? Like I just, I went live in our group yesterday, on our Facebook group. If you guys aren't in Wealth Whispers, head on over there. I told a little bit about my story, how I'm educated, right? I went to school, dropped out of school when I was 16 because I was an addict, and went back to high school at 24. I actually went back to high school, didn't do my GED, like I went actually to the school, and then graduated. And I graduated college. I went to college, in my late 20s, right? I didn't have no parents or anybody to help me out. I had to get a loan from the bank, got a loan from the bank, and graduated when I was 28 years old. And then I spent the next 3 years trying to pay off my student loan with a job that I got that didn't pay me enough to pay my student loan and my way of living. So now I'm trying to pay interest. I'm not even paying principal on that student loan. I'm trying to pay interest and work and pay my bills and get through life. And I was struggling. Like, I had to consolidate my loans. And did you know, Kaylee, that student loan is not forgivable?
Oh, really?
I could consolidate everything except that student loan. So not only did I have consolidated all my credit card debt because I was living off of credit cards because I had no money to do anything. And but yeah, I couldn't roll in that student debt.
And you know how you said this past year so many people have went back to school?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, good for you if you want to educate yourself on something.
Mm-hmm.
But in the way of looking at the world this past year, the world has found so many ways to do a job without you.
Yep.
And you're going to school to do that job where they no longer need you.
Yep. Automation. That's the way of the world.
Everything's going automation, and there's so many ways to do something that you love to do without doing it for somebody else. And that kind of ties into belief. And when I started with Bob Proctor, that was like the biggest question in the material that had me question everything was, what are your beliefs, and do you have a good reason, a good sound reason for your beliefs? And until you actually think about your life and every single thing you believe, you honestly probably don't think about it, because everything you do, it's because you believe it from some point in your life. You were taught to be, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it is, right? But is that your belief, or are you just doing that because somebody told you this is how it should be done? Example, going to school, having a husband or a wife, having kids, getting a good government job, doing that. Is that your belief, or are you just following a system of beliefs?
I think that some people that I used to talk to, and they're great artists, right? They're great artists, musicians, actual writers and artists, and that's what they're amazing at, and that's what they wanted to pursue. But they were always told there's no money in that. There's no money in that. All those people who pursued their music career, they were lucky. They knew people. That has nothing to do with luck. They followed their dreams, and you know what? They rebelled. It's the rebellions that create the wealth in this world. Let me tell you. Like,
so true.
It is so true. Like, I rebelled. Like, I was the black sheep. I rebelled. It was, it's Sarah up to now. Like, she's in another network marketing. She's gonna ask me to buy something from her. Your parents, your parents won't even lend you money even when you're making millions of dollars. You know that? Like, your friends won't lend you anything until you are on your feet, making tons of money, living the lifestyle they want. Then they'll come to you and they'll be ready. And you'd be like, well, where were you when I asked you for help?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's so true. Like, if you look at any successful person out there and they tell you their story, they didn't go off the beliefs of everyone else. Like, I bet you any money, every successful person out there, if you were to ask them if everybody agreed with their entire journey, they'd say, fuck no. Like
No.
so many people told me, you're wasting your time. It's not going to work. Wake the hell up. Like, what are you doing? And that's not going to be successful until you get there. And then they're knocking on your door, clapping for you. But it's the people that do unfamiliar things and push their beliefs, change their beliefs to actually do something that they want to do.
Did you know that success can actually be studied? So, like, people are going to school to learn a trade or a skill to get them into a job which they hope to make money from, right?
Yeah.
That's can be, you go to study that. You go to study a skill. Success is a skill and it can be studied. And the beautiful thing is, it can be done by anybody. You know, the most successful people in the world aren't even educated. They're not even educated.
Right?
It blows my mind. It blows my mind that I'm still having conversations with people who don't understand this concept.
Yeah. Like you have that's a belief. That right there is a belief in itself.
Yeah, because in the past, success was perceived by many as something that was inherited. Well, what's his name? Jeff Bezos?
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos? He didn't inherit that. He started on fucking cardboard boxes in his garage. He makes $16 million a minute. Okay. Elon Musk, he risked everything to build an electric car, and he wasn't even, he couldn't even convince himself that he was going to be successful, but he risked everything for it. The Wright brothers, they were bicycle mechanics, and they risked everything to create airplanes.
All while people were telling them, give up because it's never going to work.
Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard. Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of university. Education has been, and don't get me wrong, I fucking loved college. I learned so much, and I use a lot of the stuff that I learned. And I remember, I'll never forget, my first day of college, my professor said, forget everything you learned in high school. It was a waste of time. And I was like, well, good thing I didn't really go. I remember being in fashion class sewing pants, and I'm like, one, I don't like to sew, and two, this is not a skill that I'm going to use, so why the fuck do I need to learn how to sew? I don't care. I want to learn other things.
And I think that's the beauty of kind of going through all that, because you realize I don't want to do this. But it's until you do the things that you don't want to do, when you know you don't want to do them, like, you know, this isn't for me.
I had 27 jobs.
What's that, Sarah?
I have had 27 jobs.
Yeah. So you know what you don't like.
Yeah.
So you will never go beyond where you believe you can go.
Yep.
Right? So if you don't have the belief in yourself or the belief in what you're doing, you'll never go beyond that. That stops you dead right there. But if you believe in yourself and you can believe everything that you do is unstoppable, then you will be unstoppable.
But why do most people don't believe in themselves? Like, why?
Why? Because they're programmed.
But they believe in true love, so they get married, and then they end up divorced. They believe in the idea of having this perfect family, and then the kids drive them crazy. They believe in having this amazing job, and they're sick of it every day. So we're always waiting for something outside of us. When I retire. Let me tell you that the way things are going right now, like, wake the fuck up. The way things are going right now, there is no pension for us. There is no retirement fund for us. You will not live the lifestyle you are currently living when you retire. You will be relying on your children and your grandchildren just for your basic needs and necessities if you keep going the way you're going. And I can say this because I study, I learn, and I grow every single day.
Yeah. And I think, oh, go ahead, Sarah.
You know what hasn't changed?
What?
Curriculum.
Yeah, that's the truth.
It's the same thing, right? Nothing has changed except we don't do home ec anymore, which we should. People should learn how to cook and grow their own food. They should also learn how to earn money and save money and grow money and multiply money. Why don't they teach that in schools? Why don't they teach you how to create wealth in schools? Think about it.
Right? Crazy. But why do people stop before they even start? Because they don't have the belief that it's going to work. They don't have the external validation that go for it, right? Like, you need to believe in you first, and you need to have the self-image of you that no matter what you want to do, you have the belief in it. So everything you've ever believed in life and failed at, I honestly think you just didn't fully believe in it.
Yep. Of course.
Right?
Because look at the things that you've succeeded at. Go back to that time. You had belief, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the second biggest lie is for decades, corporations worldwide have preached, you give us loyalty and we will give you security. Like sheep, millions of individuals blindly followed, not thinking and never analyzing the offer being presented. Had a person carefully studied the promise, they would have realized that no company in the world could give a person security, regardless of service or loyalty. Security, real security, comes from within. If you haven't got it there, you haven't got it at all. When a person gives up freedom for security, they generally end up with neither.
Wow, eh?
Let that sink in.
Listen to that again. Rewind that part.
I want to share something with you. I need to find it here. It was the greatest truth I have ever heard. It's from, oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. Do I have it here still? I hope I do. Hang on, I'm just looking for it.
Yeah. It's crazy. If you look at your life and you don't change anything, you don't want to learn more, you don't want to grow more, you don't want to be more, do more, have more, what the hell are you doing?
Right? Like, are you just suffering for a paycheck?
Are you just waking up every day doing the same shit, hoping for a different life? Because you can't just hope. Hope won't get you anywhere. You need to know what it is you want, have the belief in yourself, and tell everybody in your way to get the hell out, including yourself.
I can't find it, but damn, it was good. I wish I would have saved it on my Instagram. But it was
wrote on your wall.
No, because I left it. I put it on my Instagram. Oh, what's his name? The guy from Shark Tank.
Oh gosh.
Kevin
O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary. Okay. So I'm going to find the quote here.
Oh, Kevin O'Leary. He's awesome. He tells it like it is. He's my kind of guy.
Yeah, me too. I love people who tell it like it is.
Yeah.
He says here that having a job is like the biggest addiction. They lure you in with the promise of money. So you trade your time for money so that you keep coming back and you keep trading that time for money, and it keeps you comfortable and it keeps you common and it keeps you poor.
I seen that somewhere. It was a video on Instagram.
Yeah, and I saved it in my stories. But so the promise corporations made was not viable, but currently companies are still making this promise. They're still promising security. You give us performance and we'll give you opportunity for growth and development. But what happens if the company goes belly up? What happens if the next pandemic hits and they can't afford to keep you? And you worked so hard. You gave in 28 years, 30 years of your life for this business.
That's insane.
I've seen businesses go bankrupt and not even be able to pay out their employees.
That's insane. That's insane. When you think about giving 30 years of your life to somebody else's dream and you're done the 30 years and you're just going to start living then, or you're so miserable because of the last 30 years that you don't even care.
Yep.
Like, really analyze your life. Where are you? Where are you right now? Like, what do you want?
Are you suffering for a paycheck? Do you wake up angry? Like, do you wake up annoyed that you have to get through your day, that you have to get your kids up, that you have to find missing toys and books and keys and having to shuffle your kids off and to tell them to keep eating the same food that they don't want to eat, going to a job that you don't like, looking at your current bank account, not seeing the money grow, wondering what it would be like to win the lottery or if you had our luck. I love when people say, oh, I wish I had your luck. This wasn't fucking luck. I took a risk. That's all it was, is I took a risk and it paid off. Because if you don't risk, you don't know. The biggest risk is not taking the risk, because then you're risking staying comfortable where you are at.
That's the truth. I gotta tell you, it's scary as shit, man.
Of course it is.
Scary. I was a mom with a kid 6 months old when I made the decision I wasn't going to go back to work. I didn't even know how.
Yeah.
I just made that decision to take the risk to do it. And I'll tell you something that Bob Proctor says all the time. He says, there's two things that can happen. Is you're going to be successful and you're going to reach all of your dreams, or you're going to fail. But you will never let yourself fail.
Exactly.
So really, what's the worst that can happen? Nothing. Go after whatever the hell it is that you want to go after. Nobody is holding you back other than you, because even the people that are telling you you're not going to do it, you're a piece of shit, you're never going to be successful, look at you, who do you think you are? All of those comments mean nothing unless you allow them to mean something to you. So take it with a grain of salt and throw it back at them and just say, I'm not going to accept it. Say all the shit that you want. I don't really care. And I'm going to do it anyway. Because at the end of the day, you're sleeping with you. Yep. Not anybody else, not anybody else's story or dream or life. It's yours.
So I found the quote. A salary is the drug they give you to forget your dreams.
Yeah.
Because if you do not have your goals written down and your dreams written down, you are working for somebody else who did. You are working for somebody else's dreams. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people out there who love their job. That's awesome. I'm glad that you love your job. But are you being compensated enough to live the life that you want, your dreams? Are you at the position that you want in your life to live your dreams? Because there's a lot of great jobs out there. There's a lot of great opportunity out there. And I do talk to a lot of people who love their jobs, and it's awesome.
Yeah. But it's analyzing that. If you're not happy, then why are you staying there?
Yeah.
If you're wanting the change, ask yourself why you're wanting the change and why you're not making the change. It's just a question game with yourself, and get clear on it. Like, nobody else is going to do it for you. If you don't like where you are, simple, change it. Take the first step.
Awesome. Wow. This one has me fired up. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to continue living this awesome life. Like, I got big, ridiculous dreams that if I tell most people, they think I'm crazy. But I love sharing them with my husband because my husband's like, let's do it.
Oh yeah. Me too. Especially, being with the kids and telling Will, I'm like, let's go, buddy. Even people in my life, they're like, yeah, okay. And I'm just like, I'm not even gonna tell you anymore because I don't need the okay. I'm fucking doing it. Alrighty, well, hope we got you guys fired up and go crush your day.
And make sure you guys check us out on Facebook. Check us out. We have a free event tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern for organic lead gen. We have a special guest, Kenny Coleman, who this is his entire business, is organic lead gen. So if you are in the online space, make sure you check out our Facebook group, Conversion Solve for high impact coaches and consultants. And we'll see you guys there.
See you there.